Okay, we should be good now. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go back into my introduction. You know who it is. This is Screwface John is joining us in the building right now. Right now. Right now. So, to catch you up to things, this is kind of a last minute conversation. We wanted to do this, or he wanted to do this yesterday after I was going in on that video with Friday Ricky Dread, a very disappointing video where he was trying to explain to us why a song like Not Like Us was being divisive to black folks, especially those international, especially those who are not able to, I guess partake in some of the celebrations in the U.S. He went on a bunch of different tangents, but for some reason that had you on one. You hit me in the text message. You was like, yeah, I got something to say about this, Kurt. Screw. First of all, if people don't know who the hell Screw is, let them know who you are, and then I want to hear your answer to why that kind of moved you the way it did.
My name is Screwface Jean, YouTuber rapper. Channel is Screwface Jean, SCRUFACEJEAN. I got Screwface's Lit channel where I do like my nerd stuff. And I got the Comedy Face one where I do more stuff that's hip hop related or comedy stand up. Yeah, I'm just hip hop. I'm just a hip hop dude. I don't know. That's basically the best way to describe it.
There it
And
is.
everything that has to do with it.
Man, and I will definitely put those in the show notes when we're done here. But so you hit me, bro. You hit me with a few texts. She was like, I know we're not talking about how Not Like Us. 296 days yesterday is 297. We almost hit the 300th day that
Woo!
Kendrick dropped that nuke. Almost 300 days, bro. With 297 a day. It's insane to see all these conversations that are still happening around this song and this cultural moment, because that's what it is. What do you think about this idea of this being a divisive song? What's your point of view on that?
I think the reason why I hit you up yesterday was because what that Friday dude was saying was not. I feel like he was saying there's certain things that he was saying that there had truths in them, but I think there was a lot of guising under the either protection of the OVO or basically coming from that side of things. But there was a few things that I didn't want to completely dismiss that he said that actually were true, even if he didn't know that they were true. And the reason they're being true isn't the reason he's saying them.
What are those things specifically? What do you mean?
So, Not Like Us is not supposed to be a divisive song, I think, in the hip hop culture. I don't think Kendrick's what's it called intention was to divide anybody. I think, in fact, it's a unifying song. It's a celebration of the hip hop culture song. It's a celebration of everything that is hip hop. And I think there's some people who completely missed the actual diss and have made it something different. And that's kind of what I want to speak of, because where I think he had a point though is that there are some people who have grabbed that song, who've grabbed that statement
Mm-hmm.
and have twisted.
Boom. Okay, and then we back. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. We had a little technical difficulty. We good? Are we good now? Are we good now? Let me know. Let me know in the chat.
OBS screen.
It froze up. Okay, let me see. Do we you're good. You're good. You're okay, we good now. Okay. Nah, man, them OVOers is
Wait, I can't see you.
You can't see me?
No, I can't see you, but if they can, that's fine.
Okay, hold on. Here it goes.
Oh, there it is. I see you.
All right, all right. They trying to get us, bro. Hey, we're not. They don't want us. They don't want Screwface John and Curtis King to be sitting here having a conversation. That's the last thing. It's funny, you talking about how unifying things are. All of a sudden, the internet start disconnecting. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? But I'm sorry, you were cooking up. Just to kind of bring it back to your point again.
Yeah, I was saying that I don't think Not Like Us is intended to be divisive. I think that there are people who are grabbing it and making it divisive on purpose, just to poop on the song or to not or to make Kendrick look a certain way, to make inner fighting. Because, like I said, I've gotten people who have told me that Not Like Us was a diss to any non, uh, 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 I guess, FBA person, non American.
Right.
And people would tell me that, oh, no, Screw, it's a diss to you too. Even though I was born here,
Right.
it's a diss to you too because you Nigerian and you da da da. And I was just like, bro, with how many times Kendrick has came out and said the opposite of this thing. If you really think that Kendrick is out here trying to diss black people of all the entire diaspora around the
Right.
world, then I don't think you really listen to Kendrick. Like,
Wait,
I
didn't he just do a rollout for one of the projects? I don't think it was Mr. Morale, where he went to Africa to have. He said, "This is where I go to get my head right." You got all of the kids that was out there playing soccer, and he's out there amongst the people. Like, you think that's the turn he? They really think they really think this is about attacking somebody except for some light skinned nigga in Australia right now, don't they?
That's what I was saying with like even when he put Compton in Africa. I've seen this thing where that's not Kendrick's intention, but I
Right.
think people will take that and use that as his intention just to create division.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think they're actually Kendrick fans. Because I don't think you could listen to be a real Kendrick fan. I don't think you could listen to Pimp a Butterfly. I don't think you could see his performances and think that he would be dissing black people of any ilk. And I
Yeah.
think that's where Friday was either being purposefully obtuse or genuinely obtuse, where he was trying to act like he was blaming Kendrick and being like, no, this was Kendrick. Kendrick made this. It's supposed to be divisive. It's da 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 da. It's da 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 da. And I don't think that was the intention at all. I never heard Not Like Us and took any type of offense to it. In fact, when Not Like Us dropped, this is supposed to be a diss to Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that anybody who's seeing this as anything else missed Kendrick's point.
Mm-hmm.
Not Like Us is not saying, he's saying he is not like us.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not like us because he is not hip hop. He is not. People forget in what was it, Meet the Grams? Kendrick literally called Adonis a black man.
He sure.
So
Oh,
even the
that's a good point. Hold on, you cooking? Wait a minute. I didn't even remember that. Yeah, you're right.
so even the people who were saying like, nah, the point of this was trying to strip Drake's blackness away
Colorism
from
and
him,
all that.
or
Yeah.
yeah, or to say light skinned people aren't black or mixed people aren't black or da da da. Where it was like no. He called Adonis a black. I think he's a black man, a black boy. He called him black, and
Mm.
Adonis is literally mathematically less black than Drake, just
Right.
DNA wise. So if Kendrick is calling him a black, that's clearly not what he was trying to do.
It's not
And
enough.
that's the yeah, that was the only thing I was going to shoot that Friday, do some bail. But where he messed up was that I feel like he was trying to make it seem like that was Kendrick's intention and not some people grabbing Kendrick's intention and perverting it
Mm.
almost.
Yeah. It seems like the people who are, like you said, purposely obtuse, the people who are purposely trying to miss the message. Um, I, I've never seen a song, maybe like in my lifetime, maybe like Fight the Power, right? I still remember being like a little bitty kid when my pops was playing Fight the Power, and it was like kind of a song of that time that echoed a lot of people's anger, right? You might even put F the police in that. We're talking about NWA. It's these songs that are the perfect timing, the perfect energy that encapsulates how people are feeling in the moment. And I feel like, man, there's a huge spiritual aspect of what's going on in here too, because when I'm watching all these videos of, I seen like a group of Native American women that were dancing to it and they're showing pride in their culture. I'm seeing, folks from Saudi Arabia who are celebrating this because it's pride in their culture. This is not, I've never seen him say he's a football fan, but for some reason they caught a different message than those who, like you said, are being purposely obtuse. Can you kind of speak to that of why other cultures, even outside of the U.S., you feel may be attaching to that message?
I think what's happening outside of like all the other places that are taking this, I think is they're doing exactly what Kendrick was saying. I think they're focused on the us part, and the people who are acting like, or like Friday was, like people like Friday are focused on the not part of the title.
Damn, wait a minute, Screw.
I'm balling. I'm cooking right now,
Oh
bro.
my God, somebody, what is going
bro.
on
Let me
today?
cook, man.
Look.
I think
Yeah, repeat that one more time.
I said I think the people who are embracing this outside of America or outside of the culture are embracing the us part.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people like Friday who are saying that this is a divisive song are embracing the not part.
You know what's ironic about that? The same thing happened when it was Black Lives Matter, and then it was the
Yup.
counter argument was no, all lives matter. It's like no. It's not saying that your life doesn't matter. It's saying that right now the focus is Black Lives Matter because if you look at the media, if you look at what's happening with authority, police authority, it doesn't seem like it appears to the general audience that Black Lives Matter. This is not an exclusion of you. This is a celebration of our value, of our lives. And people purposely came in and said, nope, all lives matter. And it's like, really? This is the timing that you want to run that campaign?
It's a distraction tactic.
Of course.
So
Agents of chaos.
It's like if the house is on fire and the sink is running, you put the fire out first. You don't go worry about the sink running. It's like, yeah, there's multiple problems in this household that is America.
Right.
But when the house is on fire, or one particular room, the Black people's room is on fire, you don't focus on did you vacuum this morning?
Right. That is the least of your concerns right now. Yeah. But they're trying to make it, they're trying to like, in 297 days later, we're still talking about this song being, and I made this point, I definitely want you to keep cooking on that, is I don't think that this song is and it is an accusation. I think that's still a very strong statement, especially when you talk about in the court of law, of Drake being a PDF. I think that's the narrative people ran with, but they forget, as somebody who's a lyricist yourself, you got to set up bars, right? Before you deliver some kind of level-wise certified PDFs with the plural. Who did he talk about? He talked about Party Next Door. He talked about Baca, got a weird case. He basically said, there's a bunch of folks. There's a reason there's all these dots that's sitting on this artwork. I'm going to mark them out, and then I'm going to cap it off with this. But they want to make it about, no, I can't believe he called him individually this. And it's like, that's what you took from it. And that's why you're missing the bigger picture here.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying with the us part. I think, this notion of not like us being divisive, I feel is super new. It's like like you said, this is like a 300-day-old song. It doesn't feel like but the last, I don't know, 20 that it's been now like a narrative created where this is supposed to be a divisive song. I feel like when Not Like Us first dropped, everybody knew what it was saying.
Yeah.
It's saying that they are not like us, the culture of hip hop. And that's the same reason why people are celebrating this in different places, the same reason why hip hop is permeated in different places. I feel like the reason what makes this song a good diss track and an international smash sensation is not that he's dissing that doesn't even make sense, because it's like, so you think Kendrick is dissing everybody but like one group of people, and that's why the song is resonating? No, it's because he's including the culture of hip hop in the thing. Nobody will ever argue if hip hop is a Black American thing. It absolutely is. I hate that argument. Hip hop is a Black American creation, period. Period. And I won't ever argue out of that. But hip hop is also, I think, one of the most accepting, encapsulating cultures that have ever been created. And the point of it is to take it, because hip hop is just the story of the people. The point is, we want to see hip hop in different. What is the story of the people from China? What is the story of the people from I don't know, just name a bunch of other places. And that's what makes it us.
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what makes the us part. The us is the hip hop generation, the hip hop culture, and that's why it's such a potent diss to Drake.
Yeah.
Because if you're essentially saying this is just a diss to anybody who's not an American, then it's not as potent as a diss to Drake anymore. It
Right.
literally it's because it went from bringing the world down on top of him to kind of separating out, because then there's other people who can make arguments that kind of make it, and that's why I say I feel like it's a tactic to actually make Kendrick look worse, or
Yeah.
make Kendrick look like, ah, see, he's a agent provocateur, he's here to mess things up. And that's why I feel like with the Friday thing, he had kind of a point where some people are taking this song and trying to make it something that it's not. But I
People
bet
do
you
that.
if you
Yeah.
look and do some research with any of those people, you will see why.
You'll probably see an owl too inside of one of their avatars if you really want to break it down, because I'm not trying to be messy or nothing, but I do notice that that happens to be a common thing that I see whenever I get somebody popping off on Twitter, whenever I get somebody that's talking wild, especially when they're mentioning fellatio, when they're mentioning glaze, it's inevitably going to be someone who has some sus things in their pin tweet, and then also they have an owl that's there, and I just look at this and I'm just like, this is exactly why a song like this is as important as it's been. And I'm so glad to see other cultures that are reminded, like, because I feel like in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to like the arts that are extension of black cultures, we're not always the ones that are gatekeeping those, or allowed to gatekeep those. Folks feel like they can kind of come in and make their money off of it, right? Whether it's, what I'm saying, whether it's hip hop itself, or whether it's, everybody wants to fight for inclusion. But something I've noticed, bro, if you go to like a sushi restaurant, there's a there's a there's a separation between your experience as a patron and what the experience is of how that food is prepared, right? Some of
Exactly.
that stuff you don't even get to see. And we're
Mhm.
okay with that, because it's like, that's not my culture. I'm here to enjoy the results of what you're willing to share with me. But I feel like we're in a time now where I feel like our generation is being asked to figure out how to do that for ourselves, not for the hip hop in general, but for whatever segment that you do have control over, right? Whether it's your skill as a lyricist, whether it's your skill of breaking down lyrics, whether it's, whatever it is that you have, we have to have some kind of walls up, in the same way that you would never have a house with no doors.
Mhm. Facts.
You would never have a house with no doors, because you would let anybody come in. But that's how they want to run hip hop. And it's like, you don't even run your own culture like that. Because I guarantee you, if I come inside your household, there's certain traditions that will not go down if I'm in that household.
Well, you don't even got to do the metaphor of house. You could literally just do the music. Look at Shabuzi, look at Beyonce, look
Man.
at Lil Nas X, look at what they went through just trying to make either a crossover, a song that's in a different, that's not hip hop, even if it's just one song or a
Mhm.
whole album. You see the backlash and the pushback. And I've always said, I don't get mad at how country music like gatekeeps and does stuff. I don't really get mad at that. I
Hmm.
get more mad that we don't completely do the same. And I know that might
Mm.
sound contradicting to what I'm saying, but that isn't contradicting what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the same as in the culture of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna be dropping next week those protect hip hop, protect the culture
Let's
shirts,
go. Let's
because
go.
it is important. And I feel like there is nothing wrong with people coming into a culture, acknowledging that this is not created by me,
Hmm.
and that is fine with it.
Yeah.
I learned with the Super Bowl performance, there are some people who specifically look at hip hop, and maybe they do this with other cultures, I just don't know them, and almost get offended that they don't understand something, or it's not the way that they're used to it, instead of doing the research. Now, I feel like it's just hip hop because, like your example, I feel like if these same people went to a sushi restaurant, they're not going to flip over the sushi bar because there's not hamburgers there. Like, but with hip hop, you'll do something in hip hop and they'll get like literally
offended. How dare you
that
speak it in code? How dare you how dare you? And it's funny because they don't say that when they sit down to watch their favorite TV shows that make them do it. The Law and Orders, the ones that, you know, you have to think. Thinking is only a problem when it comes to black art forms for other people, it seems. I don't understand.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just saying, I don't understand this notion that, you know, even like when I look at this, what Drake said on the last project, and somebody had to bring this to my attention because I could not bring myself to listen to the project. It just was not for me, and I got that. Not even sure that it was sexy songs for women either, but that's another story for another day. The lines along the line, the lines along the line of what they're gonna be doing out here, twerking with dictionaries. I'm like, big dog, I don't think you understand. This is the problem. Like, this is how detached you are from where we're at as a people that you think we're on this shit. Bro, have you ever seen, and I don't want to make it a conversation about him, have you ever seen that clip where Drake is saying, it's a younger Drake saying, I think the reason why the hood can connect to me is because, you know, I had experiences growing up. Like, for instance, one time I was at the border and my dad got stopped by, you know, the law enforcement, and it didn't make me feel good. And I feel like, you know, it's stories like that that make the hood, like, they can relate to me. And they was like, boy, if you don't, it's just a pure detachment from what's going on. And I feel like there's a lot of people who don't know that they're in that category, and they're fighting like hell to convince us that they're not in that category, and that we're the ones with the issues.
Yeah, I was watching on your I think it was yesterday when you were talking about this. And the realest thing was when I can't remember, it was the female who said, people think the black experience is just like poverty, or the black experience is just like the black American experience is just about negativity. Now, I get why people do that because of how the black experience has been depicted. You know, usually black trauma sells more than anything else. That's why, like, if you think of like the biggest hood movies, black movies are some of the most tragic movies ever. You know, like it's funny, like movies like The Wood, right? They're big, but not as big as the other movies that are like
facts.
Okay, for instance, Belly, right? Now, I love Belly is a hip hop classic.
Hands down.
I always say that. Belly's a hip hop classic. Or Shatas. Let me say this. Those are two hip hop classic movies. But I will tell you something. If I could just be honest, I know I'm not supposed to say this because my hip hopness and to protect it, but let's be real. As a cinematic experience, as like the writing, the directing, the cinema, awful. It's awful.
Yeah,
and it makes sense.
It's a long ass music video. Let's be honest.
That's what I say. Hype Williams was the one who
he directed it. Yeah, it's a long music video. It's a classic, but it's a music video.
But
yeah,
as a movie, and shot is the same way. These are actually like awful movies.
Yeah.
And if you they're good movies, but put together, they're like bad movies technically. And if you were to look at The Wood, which is technically a way better movie, there's no reason to me that the reasoning of those other movies being bigger is because they celebrate more trauma than celebrating what The Wood does. You know, just growing up as a black person. And
you mean you guys have functional relationships? You mean you guys are not always like in the streets? You mean you can be in Inglewood and not have to deal with? Wait a minute. No, I need some toxic from you guys. It's funny because what they go watch those movies hoping to get is the same thing I used to watch Jerry Springer for. When I was younger, and I'll be like, I ain't got it that bad. Like my brother ain't slept with my mother.
Movie is to some people that wasn't like enough. Like they needed more than that. Which like I said, I get. But the black experience, especially in America, is not just the negativity. Though it comes with a lot of negativity, it comes with a lot more than that. There's coded language that you got to understand. There's certain things that, you know, we say that you won't understand unless you're hip hop. There's references, not just hip hop, but Black America. Just
right.
There's things that no matter. That's why it's like, yes, I am 100% fully Nigerian. I was born in America, and the only experience I know is the Black American experience. I don't know any other experiences because the majority of my Nigerian, now I went to Nigeria, like I was born in America, and I went to Nigeria and spent like the first 4 or 5 years there, and then, you know, came to America and have been here ever since. So the only experience I know is the Black American experience. So when people try to boil it down to you not understanding it because of the trauma that you or you experience, you understand it because of trauma, it's a little insulting. I remember even growing up, there'd be times where, and this happened with Black people, and this happened with other people, where the way I spoke, they're like, I remember people like, nah, you can't be Black, you speak too good. I swear to God, that's happened in my life.
Wait a minute, I'm curious. Did that happen on YouTube for you as well? Because it happened to me.
On YouTube, no, not as much.
I got that the first few years, especially being in the YouTube as a producer. And it's ironic because like we're talking about things that are traditionally, you know, Black art forms. But when the folks get on this YouTube and they get a 4K camera, and this is not any bias to anybody. Like I love anybody who's able to speak with what they're talking about intelligently and from experience. What I did notice with my peers, bro, like, you know, some of my white producer peers, the audience would always question my IQ before they question my experience. They would always question my IQ before they question my experience. I could tell them that I've worked with Kendrick, that I've worked with Ab-Soul. They would be convinced that whatever their compression settings were, they were better simply because they felt they were already by default more intelligent than me. And it didn't matter how articulate I spoke. The more articulate I spoke, they started saying, oh, you're talking white. And it's like,
yeah,
damn, I can't win for losing. Like,
that's the thing that is, it goes back to that conversation of people thinking the Black experience is just negativity. Because to say that, like people, I've gone through the same things like, oh, you talk white. Oh, you talk da-da-da-da. Oh, you ain't Black. You talk white. And mind you, I've had people who both their parents aren't even Black be like, nigga, I'm Blacker than you because I talk a certain way. And it's just like, nigga, you grew up with your white parent. You don't really know the Black experience. You're 50% less Black than me. And it doesn't
not you with the numbers.
But I also hate the more Black, less Black. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Mathematically, but it's just, I also think an issue becomes sometimes we allow other people to define the Black experience. And we don't always define it. I feel like there's blame to go on every side, where it's more like we do need more things like the wood. And it's not Black people's fault that we don't have more wood. It's Hollywood's fault that, because I'm sure there's 15 coming of age Black stories that get thrown to their tables every day, and they go, nah, this ain't gonna sell. We need some trauma in this, you know. So it's,
well, you know what it is now, bro. You know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but you see how it shifted to masking Black trauma through the genre of horror. Like Get Out was such an important moment. Shout out to Jordan Peele. He cooked on that movie, right? Us, an important moment because what it did was, it's funny because I saw a story that said that Rod Serling, the creator of Twilight Zone, he was moved to make Twilight Zone after reading about the murder of Emmett Till, and he's Rod Serling originally wanted to tell those stories, and you know Hollywood at that time was like, ain't no way in hell we finna bring these stories, these stories where you're highlighting Black folks into the forefront. So he said, okay, cool. How can I mask this and turn that into entertainment so that the people that I'm trying to make criticisms of don't even know they're being criticized? That's what brought the Twilight Zone. Instead of making it just about, the specifically the Black struggle and the Black issues that were going on, this man said, I'm gonna just turn it into sci-fi, and they bought multiple seasons of it. So when I see that, I'm like, damn, it's so crazy how history repeats itself. Now that we're talking about Jordan Peele, I feel like there's been so many like, it's like, damn, how can we make another slave movie? oh, let's put Michael B. Jordan and let's make it a horror this time, and then put vampires in. And it's like, damn, bro, how many times we gonna hash the same? Now, even like they've even done you know, the circumstances of being stopped as an African American with the police, right? The black experience of being stopped by the police is now a horror movie in itself, and it's like, okay, y'all still bastardizing this, y'all are still exploiting this. It's just finding another genre to run it through. But I do find that connection is really interesting, especially with Rod Serling. Shout out to Rod Serling, man.
I did not know that. That's dope. The one thing I also like, just thinking about what you're saying, is, like I said, I think sometimes even we buy into the black experience just being measured by trauma because of what's been indoctrinated to us, what's been given to us, what's been fed to us, and that's why, you know, you'll even have other black people, or quantifying blackness by the trauma you went through, right? So, because I even go, because sometimes when you know, I've never had to argue my blackness before. I've never had to argue that before. But when I say things, I think like, what other experiences, because I've probably been indoctrinated thinking the black experience is just the trauma too, but, and not even just to make it strictly trauma, but I say things like, maybe sometimes we look at it like that because we're under such a boot of racism and prejudice and stuff. Because I always go, like, me knowing I'm from Nigeria, my parents being from Nigeria, right? And let's say me and you are in a car, right? And let's say you don't know exactly where in the diaspora your people came from, right? Me and you are both in the same car. And I'm using this example. It's kind of a little contradicting of the trauma thing, but it's just another thing to say. I sometimes feel like the black experience is created through the people who oppress us. And that sounds crazy.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
like
Trauma
it's
bonding is a
sad,
real
but
thing.
yeah. So I said, like, if we're both in a car, right? And if we're somewhere in the backwoods of Alabama in the middle of the night, right? And the car break down, me and you gonna have the same level of fear. There isn't a person that, like, a racist that's gonna come through and be like, "Hey, Screw, both your parents from Nigeria, you know
Yeah,
that?"
we're
All
not
right,
getting
Screw,
into
go ahead.
specifics about that. But what you doing around here? Both of y'all ain't
Yeah,
supposed to
exactly.
be around
Hey,
here.
Curtis,
With your
come on.
LA
They're not
fitteds.
gonna.
Come on, I'm gonna talk to you with your LA fitteds. Because you know we both gonna have a LA fitted for sure.
Yeah, so it's like, if we separate, like, the I hate the separation
Yeah.
of people like that, but it's like, when the only, and I'm saying this, like, I'm thinking about this in real time. It is kind of tragic, where it's like, okay, if that isn't the black experience, right? If that's not the only way to depict the black experience, which it should not be, then what it is, what is the ways that we connect to each other? And I always go like, well, it's the way we talk, it's the way we act. And that doesn't mean, like, because one person talks proper, or I hate proper.
Yeah.
One certain talks a certain way, some talks is different. It's like the code, the coded language that we have, the things we understand, the things that all of our moms say. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter where you from. It's the way that we're taught. It's the exact same thing. So it's like, culture is. I also hate, because this is like, this whole, when it comes to separating the black diaspora, it's Africans and people outside of America are also complicit to this a lot, because I've seen on both sides divisiveness. I've seen when people who are in America, born and raised in America, will be like, no, the Africans are different, and oh, you did, and insult them, and it's because the African might be like, oh, Americans don't Black Americans don't have culture. I'm pretty sure Burna Boy said that, right, or something like that, which I took offense to,
right?
Because it's like, no, that's not true. That's not true at all. The thing that I hate, though, is allowing the minority of people saying that. right? Even if you were, excuse me, even if you were to go on Twitter, Instagram, and the next 15 posts you see are, excuse me, American Black people saying Africans aren't Black, or Black Africans saying that Black Americans aren't Black because they don't have culture. That is still such a minority of the diaspora that you cannot allow those people to be your end all be all of what that is, because the only thing that really separates us is, and I even hate that it separates us because it didn't used to separate us, is how far away from, because not all Black people from Africa, that's why I said the diaspora, how far away we are from that. Because it's like, there are people who their like great grandparents or grandparents were alive during Jim Crow, and if I'm not wrong, some of them like right after slavery. Like there's people who still remember that. So they're basically 1 to 2 generations separated from their diaspora too. So if your great grandparents' parents or grandparents are most likely not from here or from a different place, do you know how insulting it would be to go to your great grandparent and tell them that they're not?
Yeah.
When they were one of the, like originals, and they're like, oh, you not that? So I just find like in its tactics, I feel like that aren't created by Black people, aren't created by Africans. I think it's created by the group. And I'm not even going to I don't even know who this group is, but it's a group of people who is invested in separating Black people. And it's been a tactic that's been since slavery.
I'll tell you this. I think it gets amplified because of the internet age that we're in right now, right? I think there's a lot of people who, because their platforms sound very loud, whether you want to believe it's through organic tweeting, organic marketing, or whether you want to believe it's bots, is a lot of people who get on the internet and sound very, very loud, and their group of, let's say 4,000 people make you believe that that is the new narrative. Matter of fact, I'll give you an example that has nothing to do with race. I remember when my timeline was feeding me up all of these videos about, how women ain't this, and you can't find a good woman, and they were just showing examples of like just trying to show me the worst examples of interactions of men to women, and even like seeing like they were trying to feed me some of the emotional things like, man, as a man, nobody cares about your feelings, and really trying to play to whatever they could. And I realized, I was like, dog, there's a whole world outside. And everybody that I know in my life, every woman that I know in my life, from my mother to my grandmothers to, my sisters, I have nothing but sisters. It's a very different experience when it's with them sitting. When I talk about my wife, it's a very different experience, but it's so easy to be so wrapped up in the narratives of really a small, tiny percentage of the 8 billion people on this earth. I think people don't really consider how many people that is. And sometimes we get stuck in these internet pockets. And I feel like these internet pockets could have a very big effect. And not even internet pockets, the algorithm could feed you up whatever you consume the most of. So maybe you're consuming a lot of negative shit. Guess what? You're going to see a lot of negative shit because it got a reaction. It got a rise out of you. I'm going to segue this over too, because, man, I know we were supposed to have a shorter conversation about this, and we definitely got to have you back on again, man. This is dope to see you in this element, bro. I'm always seeing you with the reactions and all that. This is dope to see you here because I've gotten to know the human being over the last week or so, and man, I empathize with you, dog, because I feel like people don't know what comes with the responsibility of having a platform as large as you have, right? I know what comes with my platform. I don't have as large a platform, but I know the hell that some people will bring to me. I just thank God that I have been prepared with thick skin to be able to go through these situations and feel like, dog, you yelling at me in all caps on the internet. I went to USD, LAUSD. You yelling at me on the internet? I remember Daylight said it one time. He was like, I don't believe in cyberbullying. And I said, why, bro? He said, nigga, just log off. I said, good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, they bro, I even in this chat, bro, I got my moderators. Shout out my moderators. They in here trying to kick your back end in for whatever they can. Man, like this last week, bro, I've seen you have to like do so much to protect this thing that you have built to supply and provide for your family. I empathize with that because I'm like, I don't think most people who are criticizing would know what to do in these shoes and the responsibilities we have on a daily.
Oh no. I mean, it's very easy to look when you're a bystander, and it's basically just very easy to look when you're a bystander. That's really what it is. It's easy to have an opinion when you're not a part of the thing. And like I said, at this point though, the people who are still on whatever they're on, is, I think I've been exposed. Like, especially with this last couple of days,
It's been nuts
the
out
more
here.
and more things come to light, and the more and more people are seeing things. If you can still see what happened to me, right? If you can still see that people created fake, like literally, like that's not even an exaggeration. That's not hyperbole. If you can see people creating fake tweets, if you can see discords where it's shown that they coordinate attacks, if you could see them putting, pictures where they're threatening to unalive people with real and getting their accounts pulled. If you can see No Jumper taking their post down and still go with that,
Bro.
it's because you're trying to push the narrative, not because you genuinely believe it. And I always say things like this too. Jay-Z said, there's a Jay-Z line for, I think, everything. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists.
What was the second part? You said nothing real can be threatened. What was the second part?
Nothing unreal exists.
Nothing unreal exists. I like that. Shout out my guy, the company man.
Piece of God. That's what he said.
The company man's in the building, by the way, too. And then shout out to Justin.
Yeah. So what it is yes, I'm Ebo, company man, Ebo Quinn. But so
it's all happening.
if you can see what's going on and you still do that, then you're trying to push this narrative. Oh, and what I was saying, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. The reason why it's not working the same way that even like, I hate using specific names. Okay, there are some specific people.
Man, go ahead and run them up. If they come at my channel for using specific names, I don't care. My ancestral power is very strong around me, and I feel it. You're fine. My channel is protected, my boy. Go ahead, run it up. Let them.
So I'm saying, if the reason why it doesn't work the same as the people that you're seeing do these things, the reason why. Because there's even people that I'm seeing who are mad that the smear campaign, y'all still, why aren't y'all, when it was acting, and it's because regular people, no matter how loud, no matter how many discords, no matter how many you put together,
right?
The regular people who are not that invested on that side as you are, or in this whole thing as you are going to seeing it and going, well, yeah, man, if they're making fake tweets that wasn't even possible for you to make, then why would I not believe that these people are trying to create an agenda that don't even like
right?
What?
They've been doing it for the last 8 months for Kendrick. Why the hell would they not do it for anybody with any kind of influence to sway that opinion?
But that's the same strategy. It's the same thing when Black Boy Max talked about academics. Then all of a sudden, for the next 2 days, there was a, what about Black Boy Max? He did this.
That campaign, campaign or not, it came out of nowhere, and it was highlighting things that for somebody who does not watch Black Boy Max, I knew more about him in that 24-hour window after that situation than I wanted to know.
Yeah,
but that's the purpose of it.
It's the whataboutism, but there is the reason why it doesn't work. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists because it's unreal. The things that are real that people are seeing, the people who are really sick, the people who are really doing stuff like on camera, the people who are doing stuff with a victim or a person attached to it, are not going through the same thing I'm going through. I'm going through a completely created and they're going through something that's a bit more real.
Right.
So to anybody who's saying anything, and like obviously that's something that it's annoying to have to keep arguing, but even the one tweet that was real, the one tweet that was, and I'm still looking into that with
Right.
the underage one that obviously misspoke. I went back and I looked at tweets, I want to say from like a month, not even a month, a couple weeks after that, that said the exact opposite. There are way more tweets that I have tweeted that say the exact opposite of that tweet, and I've shown them, and I know that the lie is louder than the truth. I learned that with the Jay-Z thing. I learned that, but it's like, so if you're allowing this one tweet that's clearly misspoken, out of context, but you're not letting the sea of tweets that are against that me saying against this around this time, you're not going against the way that I go, my character, you're not going against the things that I said in that Akadidi song, then you're trying to make it a thing, but it's not going to work. That's why I said nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. That's just, and once you know that, that's why I also give, speaking to you directly, because your platform might not be as big as mine right now, but you're growing every day. We're all growing every day. And eventually you're going to get to a point where they're going to try to, but the difference is I know your character today, right? I know what kind of person you are today, right? And unless there's something that I see with like an actual person or something like that, if it's coming from a side of people who have dedicated to not liking you, and I know exactly why they don't like you, it's going to be a lot harder to convince me. And if I ever, this is another thing, if something comes out about you, right? If 4 things about you comes out and 3 of them were doctored, I'm not, the 4th one, I'm throwing, like, I would have to be like blind to not know what's going on. That's it's insane. See, but like I said, it's not something that I like to I want to keep harping on, because at this point, I'm specifically going through Twitter and seeing the people who are still posting this. I kid you not, right? 99% of them are on some OVO stuff. 99.
To me, that alone should make you very suspect of the information. My thing is, if you were somebody back in 2012, and I don't want to harp on it either because that wasn't the purpose of us talking today, but if I'm in 2012 and that tweet goes up and I'm one of your friends that's like, hey, bro, this is looking a little sus under the light. I know Twitter is crazy back then, but if that person comes back and says, I remember that tweet, and that's why me and him stopped being cool, and he kind of blew the whole thing off and didn't even, we having a different conversation. My thing is, this is a part of my personality that I'm still working on. I'm the type person that if I look at that wild shit, I look at some shit and I'll be like, I said that? Well, that little nigga said what he said. And I'm going to defend him before I start apologizing and fighting for your righteousness. Because I got to look at you under the light. Like, if you saw that video I sent to you, I was like, somebody came in hot to the live stream and was on some like, man, are you going to address this situation? I'm like, nigga, who are you? Who are you? Because you coming in here with no avatar. You coming in here with half a name. Who are you? It's like what Nip was talking about when he's talking about hood politics, and he's like, you know, you got folks that you got somebody that's getting DP'd and because of some violation. If you get caught recording the fight, they better beat your ass too. So I'm looking at folks who come in here trying to give me information, and I'm like, what do you think I'm finna do? You think I'm finna take your side on anything, and I don't know you? Because my question is, and I think they're not, I think people are so used to dysfunction in the internet, they're not used to somebody standing on something and being like, give me more information. Because what I'm seeing so far, yeah, there's some things that I saw that didn't look good under the light, but you address those. And I'm like, okay, well, let's give time to what's going on. Even with the situation with Not Like Us, to bring it back full circle. When that song dropped and people were like, oh, he called him a BDF. I was like, at most, I thought that the things that were out were sus about Drake. I thought there's a lot of things around it that was sus, right? And not even to give him any credit, but I saw the video breakdown on 616 in LA by What's the Dirt. And I was like, he's bringing up a lot of things that are very questionable. And I said, well, that'd be interesting if somebody wants to go down that rabbit hole. I don't. Now that we're here, it's funny to me that there's so many people fighting in the name of righteousness, fighting in the name of what of calling people. They want you to stand on 10 toes from an anonymous account. Just think about that for a second. They want you and I to stand on 10 toes on something, and they won't upload a fucking picture.
You know what's crazy too? You know what's the nuttiest thing? The first thing, what was that? I had something to say that I forgot. The first thing you said, well, oh yeah, this is the thing I always say too, because I am not an advocate. Like even in my video, that's why I took accountability, even for the ones that people were completely purposefully misconstruing. I took accountability if that's how you took it. Something that I take accountability for that. But you're not about to tell me what I was saying. Like that's not what I was saying. You know that. But damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. I was just in the middle of a.
So
when you oh yeah, with me, it's not about, because I always say, if something is wrong, I'm usually not the person to be like, oh, it was a different time, it's okay, right? The reason why this one was weird to me was because the young things was when I was young. That was the one where I was like, hold on, guys, hold on. So y'all say young niggas, right?
Right.
Y'all be like,
y'all celebrate the crazy shit.
Yeah. Why in the hell would a 20 or 21-year-old saying young bitches make you think under 8? I was like, my first thing would be like,
that's so true.
Talking about
somebody in your age group. Yeah.
You're young.
Yeah.
Like, where do you, like, so if I would, so I don't even understand. So how do I, like, I literally was like, so if they're young, it just means that they're not old bitches. It was just, it means our age or old bitches. If I was to be like, yo, where the old bitches at? That was, which was also something I was on for a little.
Speaking of which, I at that time that you were making those that tweet, not even tweets, the tweet. Your friend Curtis was a cougar hunter at that time.
Yeah,
very proud. That's why I put them up there. I'm like, don't go looking for tweets on mine, because all you gonna find is disappointment of how much I had an obsession with cougars at the time, because you know, tight shit. It was.
But that's my thing too. With the I've always been like that a little bit. But it's like I don't use the excuse it was a different time, because I feel like that's almost discrediting. That's not what I was saying. I don't care if it was a different time. That wasn't what I was saying. And you have a chance to take it the way you want to or not take it the way you want.
Right.
I mean, take it that way. So if you hear that and you take it that way, you're purposely trying to take it that way. So it's like, I would never take, if I was really saying that stuff and really meant that stuff and I didn't have tweets that were against that stuff, I would be like, no, it doesn't matter if it was a different time. If it was somebody else, I wouldn't. It's not about a different time. I've never thought that shit was okay. I've never thought that was okay. So that's that. I don't use that as an excuse. I don't care what time it was. The point is that was not what I was saying, and you're trying to make it what I was saying, because you don't really have anything else but to say that's what I was saying.
Well,
so
it's
not like a.
I was gonna say really quick. Let me just add this really quick. I just need for comprehension's sake. Afro Butterfly is an amazing member of this community, and she always reminds me when I get frustrated, as I've seen you get frustrated over the last 72 hours. She says, "Curtis, don't forget, the national reading average is below 3rd grade. Comprehension 2 grade levels lower.
Damn."
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's. Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah, it's really just but going back to the Not Like Us conversation, and even this conversation, all of this is division. All what is trying to happen right now, I think, and I hate blaming. When I say OVO, I'm not talking about Drake fans. I really hope people, I say that every video, there is a seismic difference between stan and fan.
Ooh,
when you're a stan on whatever side, it's unhealthy, right? You could be a diehard fan, is still not a stan. A stan is when you start, changing your what's it called? Thumbnails as other people. When you start cosplaying as other people. And I did that too for a music video that was about Kendrick Lamar and our conversation. But I mean, on your own free time, every day, all day. That's what it start become parasocial when you start sharing resemblances with the stand from the music video. When you start creating campaigns on people, because I'm not even the only one. I'm not the first one, and I won't be the last.
You won't be the last, yeah. They come eventually. They coming for me. I already know what's going to happen.
You're trying to protect something that whether it doesn't affect you in any way, you're taking personal offense. That's when it starts getting unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see the people pushing that are from that side, it's pretty obvious. And the thing that I hate the most is like, bro, I've been a Drake fan up until basically the defamation lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
No defamation lawsuit, I'm a bigger Drake fan than I was before the battle. Because
you went to battle with the best.
Exactly. I don't care if he would have got his eye punched out the back of his head.
You went to battle with the best. You did not back down.
You stood against the boogeyman and you squabbled.
Yeah.
Go back to my reactions up until the defamation lawsuit. And even when Not Like Us dropped in the whole PDF thing, the entire time I kept saying, I don't know if Drake, I don't think Drake is a pedophile. I don't consider that. I don't think that's true. But all's fair in love and battle rap. And if you give somebody enough something to create a thing, an angle in a battle, then that's what's gonna happen. And I guess it's because I've grown up and listened to
You've been in battle rap. Can you
that's what I'm saying.
Can you give that perspective? Like, I don't think I was there when Disaster punched Matt Hoffa. I was front and center.
Damn.
I was there. Like, I was such a part of the battle rap community. Like, just as a fan, as somebody who was just looking at these folks, because I knew what's my guy name? He's on No Jumper now. What's my guy name? What's the voice? Lush. I know Lush. Matter of fact, he used to be with somebody who used to invite me out to these events. I was there front and center, and I'm sitting here watching, and I'm like, he just hit him. I should probably run because nobody got checked tonight on the way in this venue. Okay. And
I would have been out
of here. But that's what I'm saying. Like, when you seeing this, things are said in these events. It's pay-per-view for a reason, because it's going to be something said that you just going to have to be like, that is the sport that I joined in. It's like getting mad that you getting boxed out in basketball.
Or like that's why I said, like, with the. That's what made the defamation make me look at Drake differently, was because not only that, like, Drake was like literally helping URL, using his likeness to promote cars. So like, I was a huge Drake fan. By the way, shout out Deleted. I think somebody said he's in the chat.
Yeah. Shout out to Deleted.
Shout out to Deleted. Also, what happened to your Twitter, Deleted? I tried to go to your Twitter today, and it looked like it was under construction or something. I don't know what happened. But anyway,
look. You never question what the Deleted is doing. All right, you never question. You just let it happen, because you know by the time he returns back.
Hold on. Let me.
Today we're gonna have a barbecue. Today we're gonna have a barbecue.
I shouldn't be in the comment, but I gotta respond to. Sorry, my bad.
You good? Now, and I gotta actually
one comment here.
Yeah.
It said K. Impersonator, and he said, "So we just chilling with Scru's tweets."
What is the we?
Lets me know, bro.
What is the we? What are we talking about? We? And once again, I bet you ain't got no profile picture. I bet you.
No, he doesn't. He calls himself K. Impersonator, which lets me know he's probably not a Kendrick fan either, and he's doing that on purpose. But that lets me know what side of things you are on. Because if you heard everything, you watched everything, and you still believe, and you said tweets too, that's where it's okay, so you saw fake tweets and literally believed them, and then now you want other people to be mad at you being tricked.
Yeah. It's we're not even gonna give him that time, because, bro, I want to say thank you. I got to get ready for this next interview with my guy Maestro, man. One of the best I know. But no, you're good. I'm not kicking you out. I'm just saying I want to make sure I prepare, because he said he just about to pull up. But, bro, can we continue this conversation? Because I think there's more here. And I just love the fact that we're in this era where how about this? I didn't want to put this out there yet. I was talking to Justin about this. I would love to bring you back on to a panel with a bunch of lyricists that I've been talking about are talking, having reactions to it. I'm sure you got relationships with them. I want to have a sort of like a Culture United, the collective type of Zoom, or like, you know, the group meeting, but I want to combine us and then have the conversation. Justin too, of course, I want to be a part of that, and have a room full of lyricists and just talk the state of lyricism, the direction it's going in, you know, some of the things that we should be looking into. Like, I just want to bring that kind of energy together, and I think it would be amazing to have you be a part of that when that time does come, of course.
Bruh, as long as I'm available, I love this stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. We in a special time, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Big Zo TV, by the way. I see, but
Big Zo.
I love doing this stuff. I love these conversations. Like I said, I love having like-minded conversations about hip hop and stuff. So I would love to be that. Whether it's the company, man, whether it's you, y'all just hit me up, bro. And if I'm available, I would try. If I'm not, I'll try to make myself available.
Yeah.
If not, I'll be like, before I did this, I recorded a reaction, was doing a thumbnail, and was trying to get it all done so I could jump in.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
and another person I wanted to talk to that I saw in I'm a huge fan of this person. I don't know if the company, man. FD Signifier. Man. I think he's somebody who also needs to be more into these because his takes. Mm-hmm. I want to know his opinion on the divisiveness of Not Like Us and what we were talking about, because that's something that I was saying. But I don't want to hold you up no more.
No, you good. Company
Shout
man.
Out to everybody.
Hey.
I love y'all to death.
Hey, Justin, can we arrange that? Can we arrange that? I know you got a better relationship with FD than I do. Can we arrange that? I would love for that to be, man, me, you, FD, and Screwface would be an amazing conversation. That would be, hey, man, it's all, he said, let's do it. All right, I'm going to leave that in his hands, man. Hey, look, man, it's all happening. Screwface, you know we appreciate you. You know we appreciate you, brother.
I'll be watching the next one, too.
Yeah, I got to get it all set up and everything. I had stuff mounted today. Please, ladies and gentlemen, show some love, absolutely, to Screwface John for giving us his time. It won't be the last time. Yeah, much love to you. I will see y'all here. I'm about to spin the block and be right back in just a second. Man, we wish you the absolute best, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Hold up. In the meantime, in between time, while he's setting up, I just dropped my video about the hip hop debate, whether J. Cole can still talk tough or not. Y'all can go check that out.
I gotta go check that out.
It's on my channel. So.
Go peep it out. I'll have it in the show notes at some point today, man. Salute once again. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have an amazing one. I will see you here soon.